Okay, so today is Dalet Teves. We're learning today Perek Zayin and Tanya. We're starting Perek Zayin. So previously we learned about how everything in this world, nothing in this world is really submitted to Hashem in its creation. Angels are submitted to Hashem in their essence. That's how they're created. So angels, they receive their vitality from holy sources. Everything about them is holy. However, everything else, including us, there's nothing in this world that receives its vitality from a holy source. So we learned that there's three klipos atameos. These are three sources that are pure evil. Everything in this world that's forbidden receives its vitality from these three purely evil sources. Then you have things in the world that are allowed. You're allowed to eat cow, you're allowed to eat different fruits, vegetables, whatever it is. All these things that are permissible for us to access, that are allowed, they receive their vitality from a fourth klipa, that's called klipas noga. Noga means light. And the reason why it's called the klipa of light is because there's actually good in this klipa. There's still a level of holiness, a very minimal level, but there's a little bit of holiness that exists in this klipa. And that is why people in their natures are actually drawn to do good things. But it's not one with Hashem. It's not submitted to Hashem. For instance, you could have someone who wants to be kind, who wants to do somebody a favor, or feels bad for someone, wants to help them out. All these things, I'm not doing them for Hashem necessarily. So if I'm not doing them for Hashem, I'm still being kind. I'm still doing something good for somebody else. So these good acts or desires that we have to do good for somebody, without it being associated with my service to Hashem, are traits that come from this klipas noga. That's the good that's in the animal soul that comes from klipas noga. So the thing about the klipas noga is that it's actually an intermediate. It's connected also to the three klipas where everything is evil, and also to the holiness. So it goes both ways. And there are times where you can actually take this klipa noga and elevate it up to holiness. For instance, you can buy meat or wine, and you want to eat and drink it because you know that it energizes you and puts you in a state where it actually widens your intelligence. It makes it easier for you to learn afterwards, and you're able to learn Torah better, or you're able to daven better, or makes you strong. You can serve Hashem better. If that is the purpose of why you're eating this meat and drinking this wine, then you actually are elevating yourself up and what you're eating and drinking up to the level of holiness. So a person goes to daven, for instance, you're doing something holy, you're davening, right? So at that time that you're davening, you're actually a completely different person. Because now you're receiving vitality in the spiritual source of a place of holiness. You were at home talking about who knows what, things that aren't usher, obviously, but things that are mutter, but you're not doing it for the sake of a mitzvah. So at that time, you were receiving vitality from Klipas Noga. So they were one type of person. You sit down and learn Torah for the sake of Hashem, now you're a different person. Now you're elevating yourself up to a place of holiness, and you're actually receiving vitality from a holy source, probably even more than malachim, but let's just say, just like angels receive their vitality from a holy source, so too at the time when you're davening and you're learning, you are receiving vitality from a holy source. So so that's what we need to do. That's our work, to access everything that we're allowed to access, and to elevate it up to holiness, and to connect ourselves, not to receive vitality from the klipas noga, rather to connect to the holy sources, and to always be connected and an extension of Hashem. I just want to finish up with one thing. This is my addition, so I could be wrong, but it seems from what I see in Tanya, from the commentary of the Tanya, that if you want to, let's say, eat a piece of chocolate, but you know that it's wrong to just eat chocolate because you're not elevating up to holiness, so it's not the right thing to do. So you decide, I'm going to eat the chocolate. Yeah, it'll give me strength afterwards. Like, you kind of use the kavana as an excuse to eat the chocolate. What you're really looking for is to eat chocolate. But you want to do it the right way, so you say, I'm going to do it in the intention of that it'll give me strength to serve Hashem afterwards. It seems, from what I've read, that that's not the idea of elevating things up to holiness, which makes a lot of sense, because if you want to elevate something up to holiness, you actually need to be in a place where you're disconnected from it, where you're in control of the chocolate, and not that the chocolate is in control of you. So yeah, so I think it's safe to say that our intention over here is not to just throw in intentions. I'm doing this L'Shem Shamayim and I'm going to do whatever I want, just do L'Shem Shamayim. Rather, it needs to be more than that. I'm in control. And I am going to eat this chocolate if I know that's what I need to help me serve Hashem and get closer to Hashem. And continue tomorrow with the continuation of Perek Zayin.